So I've literally like filmed this like 12 times now within like the past like week, and this is already my third time trying to film this tonight. And either I get distracted by something else, or I keep getting text messages. Not that I'm popular or anything, but for some reason every time that I actually go to film this video, I get like 12 texts from random people. Hi guys! Okay, so sorry that I totally shouted at that, but I am like angry right now. I'm angry because of the story. I'm angry because I keep trying to film this and I can't get it good. I'm angry because I keep getting text messages and it keeps interrupting it. Angry because my storage was full, so I had to go back and delete a ton of things. And angry because I don't know, I'm just an angry person. Oh yeah. And angry because I'm literally asshole deep in homework right now, and am I going to do it? Probably not, because I'm an irresponsible student, and for some reason I just like to screw myself over. So anyways, I want to tell you guys the story about how I got banned from a cemetery, because I think it's pretty like BS that I was like banned from this, especially in my opinion, what I thought like wasn't that wrong. I didn't think what I did was illegal, because like, I don't know. I just thought it would be fine, and I just think it's funny that me, of all people, got banned from a cemetery for something so stupid. Like, I could have been robbing a grave, I could have been screwing with the headstones, I could have been tearing up all the grass and, like, running around, like, naked, but no, the thing I did was literally so stupid, and they chose to ban me over it. So, anyways, moving on with the story. So, a little bit of a preface. Darian and I went and we visited this haunted cemetery near Chicago, and it was really cool, and it kind of like spiked my interest in it because I really like scary things and I like ghost stories. Although scary things literally scared the piss out of me and I can't sleep for like 2 weeks, I'm highly addicted to reading stories and watching videos and like going and seeing haunted places if I can. We visited the cemetery, and it turned out pretty alright. It was pretty cool. And we went home, and like that was the end of that. And that is not the cemetery I got banned though, thank God. Probably because we couldn't park at the cemetery. We had to park across like this highway and then run over the highway and then run through trees and through a gate and into the cemetery, which was probably really illegal too, but it was daylight, so that should be fine. So it was on this list of like top 10 like haunted places in Illinois, and there were all these different like cemeteries on it, and there was literally a cemetery that was like 15 minutes from my house, which is awesome because everything is like half an hour to an hour away from my house because I literally live in the middle of nowhere. So to have like a top 10 like haunted cemetery like 15 minutes from me was like a big deal. So I was telling my boyfriend about it, and I was like, hey, I just want to go and see the cemetery. I just want to see what it looks like. And he was like, yeah, like that sounds cool. We should go do it. And so the cemetery was like 2 minutes from my grandma's house. I was like, okay, we'll go visit my grandma, and then when we leave, just on the way home, we'll just stop by it, see what it looks like, and then we'll leave. And so we were hanging out with my grandma, and we were at Dollar Tree, actually, or Dollar General, or it's actually Family Dollar where she lives. Man, they have too many of those stores. And anyways, irrelevant. I told her that Aunt and I wanted to go visit that cemetery. She's like, oh my God, says the cemetery with the hatchet lady? And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, yeah, like there's an urban legend there that there's like a hatchet lady with like a hatchet, and if you're there past midnight, then she tries to like cut your head off, and like you hear her baby crying. And so I was like, wow, that's like, well, during this conversation, there's a lady shopping just right behind us, and she goes, excuse me, are you guys talking about blank cemetery? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you've never heard of the hatchet lady? And I was like, no. Is this like a legit like story that people know about? She's like, that's like an iconic urban legend. Because this this was also me just finding out about this cemetery too. Although I pass it all the time going to my grandma's house, like it's not out in the open. It was really hard to find. And the fact that there's like a really known urban legend about it just made it seem even cooler. So we were hanging out at my grandma's house, and it was like getting late. It was like 8:30, so it wasn't like quite dark yet, but it was like kind of getting there. And she's like, if you guys are going to go visit the cemetery, you might want to go now, so then you don't get in trouble for being there past dark. Hint, hint, hint. And so Aunt and I left, and to get to the cemetery, you had to go over these train tracks, and then you had to go down a gravel road completely surrounded by corn. Like, it was like the size of like one lane. And we went all the way down this gravel road just to hit a dead end. So then we turned around, and turning around, we actually saw the entrance. There was no sign. It was really small, and it was also getting dark out, so I couldn't really see. And so I pulled my car in, and then I'm going to pause right there. I'm not going to tell you guys what I did yet. fast forward, I was in Missouri with Darian, and we were visiting the Merrimack Caverns, and I got a call from my dad, and he was like, hey, do you know where, like, Blake Cemetery is? And I was like, yeah, like, it's just right on the way to Grandma's house. Like, you turn here, just right before this overpass. And he was like, oh, okay. I was like, why? Like, thinking in my head, like, oh, like, did he go there? Like, that must be cool. Like, maybe I have family buried there. That'd be interesting. And he goes, well, you got a letter from the sheriff's department saying that you were banned. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, you might want to, like, read this letter when you get home. And I was like, well, like, am I in trouble? Like, what does it say what I did? Like, is it, like, accusing me of something? And he was like, I don't know, you can just read it when you get home. You're not in trouble with me. And I was like, okay, I might not be in trouble with you. Like, I'm 18 now. I don't really care if I'm in trouble with you. It might be bad to say. But, like, am I in trouble with the law? Like, is there a police officer that's going to be, like, banging on my door and being like, Halle Porches needs to be arrested right now for doing this god-awful thing in a cemetery? And he was like, no, just don't go back there and you'll be fine. So I come home and I read it. And it said, like, Dear Halle Porches, your car was found on the premises. And it said, like, the whole entire, like, address of it at 9:40 p.m., the board of the cemetery, literally the board of the cemetery got together. Like, a collection of people sat together and was like, yeah, that Halle Porches girl, like, she should definitely be banned from this. Like, what she did was so awful. I'm getting really mad about this. This really bugs me so much because I am such a freaking goody two-shoes. I don't do anything wrong, so I am so mad. And so I kept reading it, and at the very bottom it said that if my car was ever found on the premises again, I would be subject to fine, impounding of my car, and arrest. Like, they would literally cuff me up. They would come to my house, they would arrest me, and they would put me in jail. And so now, do you want to know what I did that got me banned? Like, do you really want to know what I did? I did a U-turn. I'll say it again. I did a U-turn. My car did not go in park. I did not get out of my car. I did not even go into the cemetery. I did a U-turn in the parking lot. And they banned me. So I guess moral of the story basically is that if it's like a teeny-weeny little itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny freaking dark outside, don't do a goddamn U-turn in the parking lot because they will find you and they will get you and they will threaten to take your car and arrest you and fine you. Like, I am a broke-ass college student. Like, oh my god, I can barely pay for my $3 little McDonald's meal. Like, do you think I'm going to be able to pay a trespassing fine? No. God, that just makes me so mad. So, basically, I did a U-turn in the parking lot at 9:40 p.m. and the board of the cemetery came together and decided to ban me. So, fingers crossed, no one I know gets buried there because that'd suck. I'd get arrested for going to the burial service. So, anyways, thanks for listening, guys. And I hope that you also feel my anger. And I hope that you also think this story is so stupid because literally I could have been doing so much worse at that cemetery. I like, but a U-turn, God forbid a U-turn. And thanks for watching my last video. I really like all of the positive energy that I got from that and all of the thank yous for sharing it. It was something that I really felt passionate about and that I think was completely awesome of my humanities teacher to do for the class. If you haven't checked that out, I suggest you should. It's a little sad and I talk like this the whole time, but it's definitely, the content of it is definitely worth hearing. Don't pay attention to me at all. So anyways, I hope you guys have a nice day, and go ahead and just stay away from cemetery parking lots at night, because you never know. So,